What are savings? What are investments? And why, in a closed economy, both have to be equal to one another? Let's take a look. So in real life, sometimes people mix savings and investment, use both words interchangeably. In macroeconomics classes, we try to treat both concepts separately. So savings is, from a personal perspective, it's the amount of money that you earn that you do not spend. It's how much you keep. So let's say you earn $1,000, you buy $600 worth of goods, and you keep $400 in a bank account or in your pockets. That is your savings. It's how much you saved of your income. To add on to savings, there's personal savings, and then or private savings, we call them in this class, or there's public savings. So public savings is how much of the government earning that they did not spend. So this is the amount collected through taxes minus government spending. That is public saving. The same thing for a private individual in the government. You could either be known as a saver or as a borrower. So if you are buying more goods than you are earning an income, well, you are having negative saving, which is borrowing. You have to borrow money to make that purchase. And if you are the government and you are spending greater amounts than tax revenue, you're also borrowing. And the total savings in the economy, the national saving, is equal to the total amount of the private savings from people like you and me and the total amount from the government through these public savings. Then, investment in this class is known as any purchase on durable goods for companies and whatnot. So a company buys a hammer for their carpenter, buys a new computer to run their operations, a truck, an excavator, builds a plant. Those are all different forms of investment. Through the GDP discussion, you could see the other forms of investment like new residential structure, but let's just put it as this is money that's being spent by these borrowers to build up a certain company. So we say in a closed economy that savings has to be equal to investment. Let's just put it a little easier here, is when we look at it graphically, the supply of savings has to be equal to the demand of money to be borrowed for investment purposes. Let's say I want to borrow $2,000 and I ask different people in my entourage to borrow $2,000. Well, I will not be able to borrow $2,000 if the total amount of savings, the total amount of money available is only $500. Imagine that you're on a deserted island somewhere in the world and you need to borrow money from friends to do this boat tour or whatever. Well, if you need $2,000 and you ask all of your friends how much money they have available and they only have $500 available, well, you will not be able to borrow $2,000. So it's impossible to borrow beyond the amount of money that's available. From the savings perspective, you also wouldn't necessarily save and just do nothing with that money. You want to kind of find the borrower. You want to be lending this money to generate interest. So in this loanable funds analysis, we end up with this equilibrium situation where the quantity of savings is equal to the quantity demanded for investment purposes, and that leads to an equilibrium interest rate where the cost of borrowing is that interest rate and the gains from savings is also that interest rate. And that's what we look with in that loanable funds analysis. Then from that starting point, you could look at what would happen if for some reason the demand curve shifts right or the supply curve, what's going to happen to the quantity of money exchange, and what's going to happen to the interest rate, the equilibrium interest rate. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you in the next one. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing or joining my class where I guide you to apply and expand on the information found in these videos to real-life examples. Have a good day.